In 2025, the United States introduced a sweeping change in its visa regulations that has already left millions around the world scrambling to understand what it means for them. Whether you're planning to study, work, visit, or immigrate to the US, these new rules could affect your eligibility in ways you didn't expect. Unlike in previous years, where applicants could rely on well-known criteria like financial status, educational background, or employment offers, the latest system introduces more stringent filters under the banner of national interest and digital vetting. In simple terms, the US is now looking beyond documents. You are being assessed based on your online behavior, political associations, and digital footprint. So, how did we get here? The shift comes after a year of rising global migration, increased border pressures, and growing political consensus in Washington that visa policies need to protect American interests more than ever. Under the new rules, visa applicants are now subject to deeper background checks, including data from social media and even encrypted messaging apps if accessible. This doesn't just apply to new applicants, it includes renewals as well. People who previously had no trouble getting visas are now finding their applications delayed or denied due to algorithmic flags. But it doesn't end there. One of the most controversial updates is the introduction of a dynamic eligibility scoring system. Think of it as a credit score, but for your visa chances. Factors like your age, profession, country of origin, travel history, and even your connections in the US now carry a score weight. If your composite score falls below a certain number, your visa is rejected automatically. The US government says this system helps filter high-risk applicants faster and makes the process more efficient. But critics argue that it makes the system less transparent and disproportionately impacts people from certain countries. The employment-based visa categories, like H-1B and L-1, have also seen major tweaks. Now, companies sponsoring foreign workers must meet new benchmarks showing that they've exhausted all efforts to find American talent. This includes documentation of at least 6 months of failed recruitment. For many startups and small firms, this is a burden they simply can't bear, effectively shutting the door on talent from abroad. On the other hand, sectors deemed strategically important, such as AI, semiconductors, and green energy, are seeing fast-tracked visas under new America First innovation provisions. Student visas are also undergoing change. International students are now required to submit proof of intent to return home after graduation. This is a return to an older rule that had been relaxed over the years. The burden of proof falls on the applicant to show strong family, financial, or professional ties in their home country. Meanwhile, students applying from countries on diplomatic watch lists face higher denial rates, regardless of their academic qualifications. The Biden administration defends these steps as necessary to prevent long-term overstays and unauthorized work. So, who still qualifies easily under the new system? Nationals from close U.S. allies, Canada, the UK, Japan, and a handful of European countries still benefit from relaxed procedures. For them, the dynamic score is generally high by default. For everyone else, especially from South Asia, Africa, and parts of Latin America, it's now more crucial than ever to double-check every detail of your application and anticipate additional documentation requests. In this tightening landscape, visa consultants and immigration attorneys are seeing a flood of inquiries. Many warn that DIY applications are now riskier than ever due to the unpredictability of the system. A single tweet or old forum comment can be misinterpreted and flagged. And since you often don't get to see what triggered a denial, there's little room for appeal. The rules are evolving quickly, and applicants need to stay informed. These changes are not just bureaucratic, they affect real lives, careers, education plans, and family reunions. Whether you're applying next week or next year, understanding the system now is the smartest step you can take. What's most alarming about the 2025 U.S. visa changes is that they create a system that feels almost too complex to navigate. The inclusion of AI-based analysis in application review means decisions are not just made by humans, they're shaped by machine learning models trained on vast data sets. These systems are fast but not perfect. They can detect patterns, yes, but they can also misunderstand cultural context or sarcasm. A joke made online 5 years ago could be flagged as politically sensitive. And the worst part? You might never even know what caused your rejection. This has led to growing concern among human rights organizations. Many argue that the new U.S. visa policy, particularly its reliance on digital vetting, violates privacy norms and, potentially, international law. Several watchdog groups are already filing petitions and freedom of information requests to gain insight into how these systems make decisions. But, as of now, the U.S. government insists everything falls within legal frameworks, citing national security and fraud prevention. Tourist visas have also been affected. In 2025, travelers from many countries who previously enjoyed 10-year multiple entry visas are now only granted 1 or 2-year durations with strict travel limits. If you visit too often or stay too long, your next application may be denied under the suspicion of intent to overstay rule. The policy is designed to crack down on individuals who enter on tourist visas and work informally or apply for asylum after arriving. The new visa rules have also had unexpected ripple effects in the tech and education sectors. U.S. universities, especially those that rely on international student tuition, are seeing drops in enrollment. Some institutions are now partnering with Canadian or European schools to offer offshore U.S. degrees as a workaround. Similarly, tech companies facing a shortage of talent are setting up development centers in countries like Mexico and India, instead of relocating workers to the U.S. It's a global restructuring, and it's happening fast. One positive change, however, has been the reintroduction of the Merit Green Card pathway. This program had been suspended but is now back with a points-based system for skilled immigrants. Candidates with experience in STEM fields, fluent English, and job offers in emerging sectors can apply for a fast-tracked path to permanent residency. But again, the bar is high. Most applicants will need to score above 85 out of 100 to even be considered. Family reunification visas have seen delays, too. Processing times for spousal and parent petitions now average 18 to 24 months, up from 12 to 15 months in 2023. This is partially due to staffing shortages at U.S. embassies, but also because of new security checks on sponsors. Background checks now extend to the entire household, not just the petitioner. Another major update is the overhaul of the Diversity Visa (DV) lottery. While the annual 55,000 visa quota remains, applicants are now required to undergo a secondary qualification round. Only those who pass an online civics and English test will proceed to the final selection. This is part of a broader push to ensure newcomers are better prepared for life in the U.S., but it has sparked backlash from immigration activists who call it discriminatory. So, what should you do if you're planning to apply? First, start early. Visa timelines are longer than ever, and missing a deadline could cost you a year. Second, keep your digital footprint clean. Delete controversial posts, review your likes and follows, and consider professional help if you're unsure. Third, prepare for interviews like never before. Practice answers that clearly explain your plans and ties to your home country. Have your documents ready, including proof of income, intent to return, if required, and academic or employment letters. The 2025 visa changes may seem daunting, but preparation can make all the difference. This isn't the time for shortcuts or assumptions. Every piece of your application now counts. More than ever, be thorough, be honest, and be proactive. If you found this breakdown helpful, consider subscribing for more updates on global visa policies and how to navigate international travel in a changing world. Your next opportunity may depend on staying informed.